If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to High Tops. It is WNST. Yeah. We're out here raising money for the Living Classrooms Foundation, the great work that they do. Give it up as I introduce to you the tight end for your Baltimore Ravens, number 84, Mr. Ed Dickson's in the house. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to get out of the way off the bat. And imagine how much they would have cheered if you caught that ball yesterday.
It's harsh. He hasn't even been here a minute.
It's the last interview for this guy.
I say that out of love, though.
It's tough love, and I love it, though.
All right.
We got to make those plays.
I appreciate you being out here. It's an exciting time. AFC Championship game. This will be the first for you. What is it? I mean, like, is it really dawned on you? Like, dude, you're a win away from going to the Super Bowl.
That's all that matters. One win. Whatever it takes to go down there and snatch a victory away, you're going to see us doing it. And you don't have to say anything to the team this week. We already know the stakes and what's online this week. And all the guys that were in today, everybody that's going to be in this week, we got one goal, and that's win.
Ed, it's funny because you say whatever we got to do to win, and I love it when I hear somebody complain about a win. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to media types, but a lot of people had a lot of things to say. Oh, you guys should have won by 30, and oh, he didn't put all that matters is that you win.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, a lot of people on the outside don't know that it takes a lot to win in this league. And when you get a victory, you don't take anything for granted, especially not versus a defense like of that caliber. But with that saying, we're moving on in the tournament, and we're ready to take on the next task.
And the funny thing is, you can't even compare it because the games are so different. It has what you did yesterday has nothing to do with what's going to happen next Sunday.
That's all that matters is we got a W on the board, and we're moving on.
Well put. Up for that. Well put, Ed Dickson.
Now, Ed, being in the locker room after the game yesterday, over and over kept hearing from comments from players that, I mean, you guys really gave Houston a lot of credit. I mean, the national media, there wasn't a whole lot of hype for this game as opposed to, Brady against Tim Tebow and some of the matchups in the NFC. But all week long, I think a lot of people, talking fans and even some media, were taking the Texans lightly. How'd the game go in your mind as far as what your expectations were, as far as how challenging that Houston defense really was?
Well, we started off really strong, and then the Houston Texans made some adjustments. And they stopped us a little bit, and we gave them a lot of credit because they battled. They wanted to win the game as well as us, but we were not giving up. We were going to come out that game on top no matter what, and give a lot of credit to the guys that battled throughout the game. Ed Reed battled throughout the game. Guys on offense like Michael Ord that was kind of not feeling good, but he battled throughout the game. There's guys like that behind the scenes that put in a lot of work to make that victory happen.
Ed, give me an idea mentally of what it's like to be up 17-3 early on a football game. Is there something about it that almost becomes difficult because it feels too easy?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we got to have the mentality. It doesn't matter if we're up 30. We just need to score more points, and we don't need to take our foot off the gas, so to say. And playing a dangerous Patriots team like that's what we need to do. I mean, we get an early lead. It doesn't matter what it is. We need to keep our foot on the gas and keep our foot on their throats.
It's funny because
go for the kill.
Do you feel though as though when you watch this, you're so used to playing with this defense now and what they're capable of doing? I would feel like a lot of teams, if they end up not having success on a drive in the second half, guys walk back over and they get really nervous because they say, "Oh, man, we might have just put ourselves in a losing position." I get the feeling that you guys, when you walk away while you're frustrated, you say, "Okay, we feel pretty good still. Once we're ahead, we're going to be ahead when we see the ball again."
Yeah, we can't allow our defense to be in those positions. We know we have a great defense, but versus a team like that, we can't allow them to go out on the field again. We got to keep their offense off the field, and that's our offense putting up points. And we know our defense is going to come up with some stops, but we're playing against Brady, and he's going to have a little bit of opportunity.
Do you guys get enough credit when you don't have, and by the way, you cost me a lot of money. I got to share this story. Last week I was in the locker room and I walked up to Ed, and as soon as I walked up, he's like, "Dude, Glenn, I'm going to have like 10 catches for 140 yards, and Dennis is going to have 8 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. It's going to be a big day. And I just wanted to know I'd lost a lot of money because I bet those props this weekend.
Yeah.
So I figured you'll pick me up, though, right? You're gonna pay for the what I lost?
I was talking about this next game, not.
Oh, is that what it was?
Right,
It was
just move
his
past
game in
that.
New England. All right, I understand. Well, that makes sense. Their defense isn't quite as good. Anyway, does it feel as though you guys don't get enough credit when you don't put up the gaudy statistics? You get criticized for it. Is it funny to get criticized for what you do despite winning a football game?
That's the point exactly. How are you going to get criticized for winning a football game? It's not always pretty. It's not always going to be pretty in this league. We're not the pretty team. We're the Ravens.
That's actually like the greatest line I've ever heard. We're not a pretty team. We're the Ravens. That's how I feel sometimes. Not a pretty radio host.
I heard Terrell Suggs say something like, "There's a bad way to do it, and there's a worse way to do it, and there's the Ravens way to do it." And I believe that because I'm playing on the Ravens.
And if anyone would know anything about not being pretty, it'd be Terrell Suggs.
This guy,
I'm getting them all in tonight.
he's taking shots tonight.
I'm getting them all in tonight.
He has
He's
to go
not
to the
here.
locker room.
Yeah, right. He'll never hear this.
I'm gonna relay that.
Oh, God.
No, Ed, as a team, we just joked about it with Sizzle. And by the way, Glenn, I'm going to let him know that on Wednesday if you don't.
Please don't. Please don't. He's tough. He's a tough dude.
But do you take some pride? I mean, we talk about winning ugly. I mean, the style points, all those different things that people are talking about today who aren't happy about this win for whatever reason. But do you take some pride in having that style of Ravens football, as you just talked about? It's not always pretty, but you guys win as a team. You guys always talk about it. And when you have situations where sometimes if the offense is struggling a little bit, the defense picks it up and vice versa. So you have that team mentality. Do you take some pride in having that style play where you just say, we're going to do it the Ravens way, and if people don't like it, that's tough?
Pretty much, yeah. You got to take pride in being yourself. I mean, because we're unlike any other team in the league. We can't say we play like Green Bay or a Pittsburgh or something like that. We're the Ravens, and we're going to play like the Ravens. That's all that matters, that we win. And however this championship come about, we're going to look back on the road and say we did it our way.
You know what's neat about those two teams you just mentioned that have a high-powered offenses and things like that? They're watching football this weekend.
Pretty much.
They're playing football this weekend, so that's, I think, what matters. The home crowd yesterday, the atmosphere, what it was like to play a home playoff game. Give me the whole rundown of what it felt like.
It was amazing from the start. There's no other place like playing in Baltimore, and we would want to have one more game to play in our stadium, but we take it to the road. I know our fans support us on the road, and we're going to bring it home for the guys.
Now, you weren't there the last time. You were there the last time the Ravens played the Patriots, but you obviously weren't there the last time the Ravens played the Patriots in the postseason.
No.
The experience that even you have going on the road last year and what it's like to play a postseason game on the road, I imagine that'll help going into this week.
Yeah, you got to play a lot of sound football, so to say. Turnovers is the key. You can't turn the ball over and think you're going to win the game. We have to play very sound football. And basically, this week in practice, we're going to practice all those little things and get back to playing our game.
Ravens tight end Ed Dickson is out with us here at High Tops Backstage.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.